want to welcome next to the stage, you're going to hear the announcement come up, but a friend to all of us. He used to be the mayor of Richmond. He was then the lieutenant governor, then the 70th governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and now U.S. Senator. Please welcome Senator Tim Kaine.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your United States Senator, Tim Kaine.
What a crowd! Woo! Hey, Arlington Democrats, this is so fantastic. Let me say thank you to Ralph Northam. This is hard to say because I was a governor. Ralph Northam has amassed the most progressive record of any governor during my lifetime. But he's going to be eclipsed by Governor 74, Terry McAuliffe. It is so great to be with you. Raise your hand if you have voted already. I love that. Raise your hand if you still plan to vote. Wait, no, some of you raised your hand twice. I like the Arlington spirit. It is very, very good to be here tonight with so many friends. And I'll just do a personal thank you to Arlington. I was a little-known city councilman and mayor from Richmond when I ran my first race statewide in 2001. And pretty much nobody outside the Richmond metro area knew me. And I had to run in a tough primary, then in a tough general election. Arlington has been very, very good to me. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you so very much. Let me say a word about voting, and then let me say a couple things about Terry. Voting. I had kind of an epiphany on Sunday. I was going to churches and talking to folks about the importance of turning out to vote. And a thought occurred to me. I was looking at the faces of many people who over their entire life had known what it was to be disenfranchised. This was primarily an African-American church. And the people in that church, they knew the history, and I knew the history, but they'd also lived the history, and I hadn't. The history of African-Americans not being able to vote, and then the Constitution being changed so that states couldn't block people on the basis of race, but then states like Virginia, poll taxes, literacy tests, all kinds of schemes and stunts to keep people from voting. Women not being able to vote until the 19th Amendment was passed. Our history as a Commonwealth and country has been a history where people have been disenfranchised. And as I talked to the audience that day about the importance of voting, I shared this thought. For one day in my life, I'm a white male, if you haven't noticed. Nobody's ever disenfranchised me, ever, until January 6th, 2021, when, with 99 other senators, I was barricaded into the Capitol and then a committee room by people who wanted to disenfranchise me. They wanted to disenfranchise the 80 million people who had voted for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. 81 million, who's counting? 81 million. Because don't let anybody fool you about this. It wasn't a riot, it wasn't a protest, it was a violent attack, but on a particular day, at a particular time, for a particular reason. And that reason is they wanted to erase all of our votes. They wanted to erase all of our votes. And that's what they're doing now in state legislatures all over this country. They may not be wearing Camp Auschwitz t-shirts. They may not be brandishing flags and fence posts and battering 150 police officers, but they are repeating the same big lie about election integrity, the kind of thing that Glenn Youngkin talks about, and fraud and the need for more integrity. And they do that so that they can pass laws that will keep people like you and me from being able to vote. They want to stop us from voting, and then if they can, they want to erase the votes that we cast. That's why this race is so important. That's why it's so important. Terry McAuliffe. I could tell you many things about why I'm so strong for Terry McAuliffe. Let me just say two. Terry McAuliffe re-enfranchised more than 200,000 people who had been cruelly disenfranchised and had their votes taken away. So when it comes to the importance of voting, you've got a guy who has demonstrated by a courageous action that he wants all to participate, running against somebody who is repeating the big lie about election fraud. Your Democratic legislature has guaranteed 45 days of early voting, in person, by mail, no excuse. The other side would take that away in a minute. The second reason I support Terry is because he was a fantastic education governor. Fantastic. Raise your hand if you're an educator. Give him a round of applause. It's tough work. Why do I say Terry was a great education governor? The first thing he did was hire my wife to be a Secretary of Education. I mean, come on, that was great. But then what Terry did was this: $1 billion investment into education, especially focused on teacher pay raises. That's a big deal. Dramatic expansions of early childhood education so that more 3- and 4-year-olds get the strong start that they need. Significant funding of college with an especial focus on funding the community colleges where more than 2/3 of Virginia college kids go. And then together with Dorothy McAuliffe, Terry and Dorothy dramatically expanded childhood nutrition programs so that kids coming to school could have meals and be ready to learn. We need an education governor. We don't need somebody who's trying to whip up anger and make people mad and who's trashing Virginia public schools and teachers. We need somebody who's got teachers back and will keep Virginia on path. We've seen him before. We know he'll do it because he's done it. Why go with the mystery behind door number 3? Go for a great governor who's already done it once. Elect Terry McAuliffe. Re-elect Mark Herring. Make history by electing Hala Ayala. Keep our House of Delegates blue. Thank you, Virginia. See you on the trail. Let's go win.